The Verazzano Bridge. Some people look at it as a nightmare or a headache. They sit in traffic going over it to go to work or to come visit family and friends on the weekends. You know, I call it home. I like it. I've been working here for the last 15 years. Civil service employee working for MTA Bridges and Tunnels, also the Triborough Bridge and Tunnel Authority. We handle the 9 toll taking facilities within the New York City limits: the Henry Hudson Bridge, the RFK Bridge, the Whitestone, the Throgs Neck, the Queens Midtown Tunnel, the Marine Parkway Bridge, the Cross Bay Bridge, the Verazzano Bridge, and the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel. I personally am a maintenance man on the bridges and tunnels on the south end of the city. So that would be the Cross Bay Bridge, the Marine Parkway Bridge, the Verazzano, the Queens Midtown Tunnel, and the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel. It's an interesting job. I didn't think I'd end up here. We all have our dreams and our passions in life. But I stumbled upon this, I took it, and I haven't had a day of regret since.
Do you know how tall that bridge is? That bridge, that tower right there goes up 690 feet. They got 40 million cars going across there a year. 127,000 tons of steel is involved in that. The concrete there, they got almost 750,000 yards of concrete. That's right. The center span right there is 4,260 feet long. And with the on-ramps, it all together total is like something like 2.5 miles.
You know all about the bridge, don't you?
That's right. I know everything about the bridge. You know what else? They got a guy buried in the cement.
Yeah.
Know how it happened? Well, they was working on it apparently at the time, and I guess they were pouring the cement, and he slipped off, you know, on the upper part of the bridge, and you know, fell in.
What a way to go.
I come down here a lot, you know. I get ideas.
Oh yeah, what kind of ideas you get?
I don't know, daydreams. You know, I daydream a lot.
You know, in 1959, Staten Island's population was 220,000 people. By 1980, it was 352,000. The bridge definitely increased people migrating to Staten Island. The Verazzano was actually supposed to be a tunnel. That was the original discussion back in 1888. And they actually began digging. They abandoned it, though, but there's still 150 feet on the Staten Island end. They actually call them the Highlands Holes, after Mayor John F. Hyland, who actually led that failed project. One of the funniest stories I heard, I don't know if it's true or not, was the governor of New York had a summer home in Bay Ridge when they were planning on building the Verazzano. And the BQE extension, which connects the Verazzano to the interstate system on the New York City side, actually runs through a very residential neighborhood, Bay Ridge. I heard they pulled eminent domain and just kicked them out and put the highway down. And about 7,000 people were displaced in Bay Ridge to make room for the bridge. I get to access areas of the bridge that most people would only dream of. I've climbed the cables. I've walked up and down within each tower. I've been to the top of the towers. I've been to the bottom of the towers, which we call the piers. I've ridden on the inspection trolley, which runs across the lower level, but underneath the roadway. We have catwalks under there. I maintain equipment that's below the roadway as well as above the roadway, on top of the towers, below the towers, within the anchorages. The anchorages are the 2 concrete structures that you see on land on either end of the bridge. And that's where the cables actually get their strength. That's where they tie down. The bridge itself is amazing. People don't know, like, below the lower level on Brooklyn and Staten Island sides, there's actual electrical substations. These rooms are probably like 100 foot by 100 foot. And they're just filled with electrical equipment to power the bridge. There's fire suppression systems, there's cameras, there's LED lighting, signal controls, red lights, green lights. It's an amazing system. It really is. When it opened, the Verazzano was considered and actually factually was the longest suspension bridge in the world. At 4,260 feet, the equivalent of connecting 14 football fields, it was the longest single-span suspension bridge in the world. But it lost that title in 1981, and it now is the 11th longest in the world. But it's still the longest in the United States, so we still hold that title. The bridge actually marks the gateway to New York Harbor. All cruise ships and most container ships arriving at the Port of New York and the Port of New Jersey must pass underneath the bridge and therefore must be built to accommodate the clearance under the bridge. The bridge actually affects multiple industries. Located at the mouth of the Upper New York Bay, the bridge not only connects Brooklyn with Staten Island, but is also a major link in the interstate highway system, providing the shortest route between the Middle Atlantic states and Long Island. You know, in the seasons, the different seasons we experience here in the Northeast, there's contractions and expansions of the steel cables, causing the double-decked roadway to be 12 feet lower in the summer than in the winter. The towers are so big that they can actually be seen in all 5 boroughs of New York City and in a lot of different parts of New Jersey.